So I'm here with 2021 draft prospect Caden Sterns. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And you're a safety out of the University of Texas, a former Longhorn. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and then your journey throughout college football?
Well, yeah, went to the University of Texas, born and raised in Texas. Born in Dallas, raised in San Antonio or the suburbs of San Antonio in Cibolo. Went to Still High School. Give a lot of credit to them for where I'm at football wise, just it being a blue blood high school in Texas, and then Texas in general football. It doesn't get any better than that. So yeah, I live and breathe football. So it's like a religion down here. So
Yeah, and of course, you're playing at a very high level, getting the honor to be a draft prospect. So, is there anybody growing up that you kind of looked up to as a player, past or present in the NFL, or anybody that you kind of model your game after?
yes, ma'am. So my brother kind of went through the process. He played at Oklahoma State, ended up going undrafted free agent to the Kansas City Chiefs. Played the same position, safety. So kind of go back and forth with knowledge, and him being in the position that I am now, he gives me knowledge about the process as well. In terms of modeling my game after, there's a lot of safeties that I like watching. He's not in the league right now. Eric Berry, start off, really good player. Justin Simmons, Mika Fitzpatrick, Jesse Bates. I can keep going. There's a lot of good dudes that they just make an impact and make a lot of plays on the ball, and that's my goal as a player, is to make plays on the ball and make game-changing plays in general to win. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of going off that, just modeling your game and all the work that you put in, I kind of want to talk about pro day a little bit. So you had a 42-inch vertical leap and then 4.40 seconds in a 40-yard dash. So can you kind of talk about your preparation for that and the nerves just going into that day?
So yeah, I trained out in Exos in Arizona, and they really I can't thank them enough. Not only was the training good, but just the dudes that I trained with. It was a fun environment, and dudes just got better. Friendly competition. Everybody pushed each other, and again, the program was, if you stuck to it, you saw a lot of obviously numbers that you would want to see. So yeah, the preparation is, I kind of just stuck to the plan, and again, I got pushed by the dudes next to me, and pro day. Wasn't really too nervous because I've been training for 3 months. I went up there early in December, so I knew what I was gonna do and put up. So yeah, definitely proud of the numbers that I put up.
A lot of scouts really taking attention to that and looking at that. So that's a great accomplishment for you as well.
Yes, ma'am.
And Caden Sterns, for people who don't know, who are you? What is your story? And what do you want people to know about you entering the NFL draft?
Yeah, man, I'm just a chill dude. Work hard. Football is everything to me. With me, I feel like kind of going into this process, kind of under the radar, which is where I like to be right now. And the type of player that you're gonna get out of me is obviously somebody who's very disciplined and is gonna make a lot of plays on the back end and create turnovers. So whoever gets me getting a special player. So I'm excited for the process still. Got a month left, so counting down the days, and I can't wait to see where I land.
And you kind of mentioned that football is everything to you. Did that inspiration come from your brother, or have you just loved football ever since you were a kid?
Kind of ever since I was a kid. Also watching my brother play definitely pushed me a lot because growing up, it was kind of just me and him. My mom worked 2, 3 jobs, so it was just me. Again, it was just me and him. So we kind of did things not by our own, but we were there for each other 24/7. So it definitely helped me with on football. But again, yeah, I love football since I was young. I love sports in general. And again, like you coming from Texas, that's a must. You play football, kinda. So again, I'm blessed to be obviously in the state of Texas where we take it so seriously, and also seeing my brother go through it and seeing his success as well.
And you talk about your brother and how your mom really worked like 2, 3 jobs. How tough was that for you kind of growing up, having to grow up so early and so soon?
Um, I wouldn't say it was tough at all. My mom made sure we still had everything that we needed. Um, she still, again, she put clothes on her back, and also, again, she got some of the things that we want. And we made a lot of good memories. So, very tight family. It helped too. My step pops came in not too long after, so he really helped out. So, my family's really close. My support system is through the roof, and I love. Also, that's the reason why I do what I do as well for my family. And football can do a lot of things for you, so it can. I'm gonna use it obviously because I love it, but to take care of the people close to me.
And that's a great way to look at it. Absolutely. You said you're born and raised from Texas. So, what is your favorite football team growing up? I would go ahead and say Dallas, but I'm going to let you take that one. I'm not really sure, who you kind of watched and
Ah,
rooted for growing up.
I was a huge Michael Vick fan, so I like the Falcons. When I actually started watching football, like understanding it kinda, is when the Colts won the Super Bowl against the Chicago Bears. So I was a Colts fan. So and my whole family's Dallas Cowboys fans. So that's it's a given. But other than that, I really don't have a favorite team no more. Just I have like a lot of favorite players that I like watching. So
Yeah, Michael Vick's great. I mean, I'm from the South Jersey, Philadelphia area. So when he came to
mhm.
the Eagles, I think he really, changed that culture in Philadelphia as
Yeah,
well.
yes, ma'am, for sure.
Do you have like a game day ritual or something you like to do before every game?
Uh, Yeah, I like to take a nap. I like to take a it depends on when we play. If we play late, I'll take a nap. Um, and by the time I wake up, I'll go get ready, start stretching and stuff, get my body warm for the game. I'll listen to a little chill vibe music beforehand because I'm not that type kind of to get way too riled up until we go right outside. Right before the game, we go out. Just like to keep calm, steady mind. Other than that, I do say I am kind of superstitious in terms of doing certain things, how I wear stuff. So just stuff like that. But other than that, I ain't got no set plan.
And, I believe what I've read, you were a sports management major when you were in
Mhm.
your time at college. So, can you talk about of the adjustment of having to take classes in a pandemic, playing in a pandemic, and then just being a D1 athlete while also having to keep up your studies?
Yeah, it was this year. There definitely was a lot of or this past year, I should say, it was a lot of curveballs thrown at us as college players. Classes we took online. Um, so it was a little bit harder for some people because some people like to learn obviously in person, face to face, and then you had to get COVID tested every other day. Watch who you were with. So it was kind of crazy. And even you go before the season when we're getting ready for fall camp, we really didn't know if we were going to have a season or not. So kind of messed with people's minds a little bit on what was actually happening. So it's definitely a lot of adjusting, especially during the off season. A majority of it was kind of how it would be if you're in the league. Like you had to train on your own. They sent you a plan. You had to train on your own. So it taught you a lot of responsibility and accountability to your team and making sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So yeah, it was a lot of curveballs, but I think I took something positive out of it. Just again, how to be accountable and really drive myself to work out and to be the best that I can be. So
Yeah, and that's a great way to take it because, of course, a really tough year for everybody. And then, being a Division 1 athlete, kind of practicing, not knowing if you're going to have a season, it just has to be very, very crazy. Kind of
yes,
going off
ma'am.
that, you kind of talked about the physical aspect, getting your body right, training on your own. But what about the mental side of it? How are you able to really kind of give that positive self talk on your mind during that time off?
I think it starts with preparation and knowing the work that you put in is quality work and it's going to pay off again. So, like again with the whole training that I did, I was not really nervous about the numbers I put up because I've been training for it for so long. It's like not doing it every day. So, but other than that, it's been uh, the same stuff. The mental side, I typically read some type of book or quotes here now and then, and try to meditate a little bit, just to clear my mind, so to slow everything down. But definitely think it's important to keep up with the mindset in football because, as they say, it's a lot more mental than it is physical.
Absolutely. And we've seen that, especially through these past few seasons, I feel like in the NFL
Yes,
and college. So that's great to hear. Matthew McConaughey. Now, I know he's kind of like a speaker for you guys. Have you ever been able to talk to him? Do you have any funny stories about him?
Yeah, I talked to him. I want to say twice. He's always on the sideline every now and then, or if he has his own suite in our stadium. But yeah, any funny stories? He gave us a speech one time. It definitely motivated us all, but it was just pretty straightforward and had some funny things to say as well. Dude, what he does for the program of Texas is obviously awesome. He's like a figure in general. So anytime he comes around and he speaks, you want to listen because he's successful. He knows what it takes. So he's definitely a huge part of Texas.
What is the best food in the state of Texas that you have ever had?
Ooh, I go with some type of barbecue easily. And it also depends where you at. I'm from San Antonio. Mexican food down here is really, really, really good. So yeah, but the barbecue in Texas, I think it's second to none with any other state for sure.
Over here, we don't really have barbecue like that. So we usually get it down south
You
and
gotta
like
come try
Georgia
it.
or
Yeah,
Florida. Yeah,
got
definitely.
to.
Hopefully one day, definitely. We kind of talked about food already, but do you have a go-to meal before a game or even like a go-to kind of, Gatorade, water, whatever that might be, getting ready for a
Yeah.
game?
Yeah, I definitely obviously hydrate a lot during the game. I also get some electrolytes. Honestly, I really don't like eating too much before the game. I try to eat the night heavy, kind of the night before to carry over because I don't like having that heavy stomach feeling going into a game, trying to feel light and ready to go. But I'll eat light, but just your typical carb, so you have energy throughout the game. Obviously, you have your greens and then you have your protein, but I try not to eat too much.
If there was one Gatorade color for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Oh yeah, the white one easily. I think it's Glacier Cherry. Yeah, by far the best one. By far.
I
By far.
really? Yeah.
By far. What's
That's
yours? You got
funny.
one?
I like the light blue one. I think it's like Glacier Freeze. Is that the
Oh,
light
yeah, that
blue?
one's good too. I didn't even think about that one.
And then the orange one, I know that's like hit or miss, but I really love the orange one. It just tastes so fresh
Um,
to me.
yeah, okay.
You kind of talked
Yeah.
about it before,
Yes, ma'am.
how you kind of feel like the underdog in some situations, especially, going into the draft right now. Can you talk about that mentality a little bit more? And like we said before, you want to shock the world in the same way.
Yeah, like I kind of again, I feel like I've been kind of under the radar in terms of my ability. Um, this year there's a lot of good players, and in my position, there's a lot of great safeties out there. And again, I feel like I'm second to none of them. Just from the fact I put my numbers up against anybody. I feel like the numbers I put up are you can compare with corners, and that's not really common with safeties at all. So yeah, so I'm excited. Uh, just the intangibles that I have, the instincts that I have, the leadership and the IQ. Again, like the mental part, I feel like my IQ is second to none as well. So, yeah, I'm excited. I just can't wait to go to a team and contribute in any way I can, whatever way I can. So, yeah.
That's awesome. And you're a safety. So when you're looking at a quarterback on the opposing team, what do you look for? Do you read his eyes? Do you read his hip movement? How can you try and not plan ahead, but prepare for what the quarterback's going to do on the field so you can get a jump on the play?
Yes, ma'am. So if I'm a high safety, if I'm in the deep middle, you're kind of playing cat and mouse with the quarterback a little bit. He's trying to look you off, get you going one way so he can throw the other way. So first thing I'm gonna look at is where he is at the top of his drop, when he gets to the top of his drop, and where he's looking at the top of his drop. Because typically when quarterbacks drop back, they're gonna look one way, but I mean, that's not where they're throwing the ball. So I'm looking at where his drop is, where his shoulders are at that time, And as soon as we pull the pin, as soon as he lets go of the ball like that, I'm triggering and I'm going. So.
Well, thank you so much, Caden. It was great talking to you. I can't wait to watch the draft and see where you end up. Definitely, we're going to keep an eye out on that going forward.
Thank you so much. And again, thank you for having me. I'm blessed to be here. Again, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity and I'm excited. Can't wait.